Good evening and welcome to the main news. I am Mandipa Mcheche with Susan Masona at our sign language desk. We first take a look at the stories making the headlines. Zimbabwe gets massive support for United Nations Security Council membership. And in sport, Zimbabwe under-19 cricket team ready for World Cup campaign this Sunday. Let's now take a look at the stories in greater detail. In our first story, Zimbabwe's bid to become a non-permanent member of the United Nations Security Council for the period 2027 to 2028 has received massive support from non-aligned movement member states. This was disclosed by President Emmerson Mnangagwa when he briefed the media after critical engagements at the 19th Non-Aligned Movement Summit in Kampala, Uganda. Our chief correspondent, Ruben Barwe, gives us more.
Zimbabwe is thankful to the non-aligned movement countries for the support it has received following the imposition of the illegal sanctions by some Western countries. The President, Comrade Emmerson Mnangagwa, said this in Kampala, Uganda, before his departure for Kinshasa to attend President Felix Tshisekedi Chilombo's inauguration.
We're happy that again it has been hosted here in Africa, in Uganda. We're happy that it continues to promote the third world aspirations and policies. And I'm also happy that my brother, President Museveni, is very focused in relation to the promotion of third world countries ourselves. So we as Zimbabwe are supportive of making sure that South-South cooperation is promoted.
The President also spoke on the suffering of the people of Gaza in Palestine and said this suffering should come to an end.
I'm very clear that the Gaza issue should not be ignored. We believe that the Palestinian people must be supported because they are being trampled on by the Israelis and so on. So we, members of the non-aligned movement, want to see dialogue between the two parties.
On his interaction with the several heads of state and the delegations, the President said he was appreciative of their support for Zimbabwe's bid to be a member of the United Nations Security Council.
We are bidding for a seat in the Security Council, and I'm happy to say I'm aware that the SADC is in support of us. At the AU this year, I believe that we shall be able to push for the support of the AU. But with regard to SADC, SADC has already rendered the support for our bid.
President Mnangagwa and his delegation then soon left for Kinshasa in the Democratic Republic of the Congo for the inauguration of President Tshisekedi. Ruben Barwe, ZBC News.
President Emmerson Mnangagwa joined other heads of state and government for the inauguration of Democratic Republic of Congo President Felix Tshisekedi in Kinshasa this Saturday.
Several African leaders, including President Emmerson Mnangagwa, joined thousands of Congolese nationals at Mathieu Stadium in Kinshasa for the inauguration ceremony of DRC President Felix Tshisekedi. After a rigorous campaign, President Tshisekedi won the elections with 73% of the votes. Thousands of Congolese nationals attended the inauguration ceremony. Several African countries, including Zimbabwe, conducted elections last year, and the rallying call is for African countries to work together in building stronger economies and improving livelihoods of the ordinary people. President Mnangagwa, who spoke after the inauguration ceremony, believes that the continent must stay hinged on the goals set by its founding fathers of remaining united and freeing themselves from the yoke of colonialism.
The founding fathers of African unity in 1963 declared that Africa must be united. We must stand solid as African countries. We should cut our relations with the former metropolitan colonizers and become completely independent from former colonial masters. So this is why when an occasion happens, most African heads of state will come together, giving solidarity to each other.
President Mnangagwa posited critical issues vital for economic emancipation and sovereignty, including food security, education, and health facilities to be given priority by African leaders.
My view is that the primary objective of every single country, in particular ourselves in Africa, is to strive to secure food security, number one. Number two, the education of our people. And number three, the health facilities of our people. If we succeed in those three, the next issue is to make sure that we give science and technology teachings, create science and technology institutions, because that education is the basis of growth, the basis of modernization, and the basis of creating independence and modernization of our societies as African countries.
Africa also remains on high alert for external threats based on the neo-colonial agenda driven by those who still want to control the continent for their own benefit. Josephine Mugio, ZBC News, Kinshasa.
President Emmerson Mnangagwa is back home after attending the 19th Non-Aligned Movement Summit in Uganda and the inauguration of Democratic Republic of Congo President Felix Tshisekedi in Kinshasa.
President Emmerson Mnangagwa returned home Saturday evening after attending the inauguration of Democratic Republic of Congo's President Felix Tshisekedi in Kinshasa. Earlier on Thursday, President Mnangagwa joined other world leaders in Kampala, Uganda, for the 19th Non-Aligned Movement NAM Summit, which ended this Friday. The president was welcomed at the Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport by Vice President Kembo Mohadi, Chief Secretary to the President and Cabinet, Dr. Martin Rushkwaya, service chiefs and senior government officials. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
The Manicaland Provincial Tourism is set for a huge leap on the back of government plans to construct an airport near Mutare.
Plans to construct an airport which will be located near the city of Mutare have generated interest, with the project expected to set a new trajectory for business and tourism in Manicaland Province. Transport and Infrastructural Development Minister Honorable Felix Mona was at the new airport site in Mutasa district this Friday, where he outlined the roadmap of the project.
Zvinonakira kuti tinge tine airport ndezvekuti tinoona kukura kweekonomi yedu, kweupfumi hwedu hwenyika hunoenda pamusoro, nekuti tinoita kwanisa kutakura zvimwe nemugwagwa, zvimwe nemunjanji, zvimwe nemuchadenga. Takutoisa maplans edu kuti tinge tichimhanya kuti tive neairport kuno. Muchaona tichivaka nekukasika.
Feasibility studies for the project are already underway, according to the airports company of Zimbabwe.
Tinotarisira kuti panozopera gore rino iri tinoita tosubmita feasibility study yedu nemarequirements achona, even preliminary designs atinenge tichifunga as in the design brief yacho tinoita winza.
Manicaland Minister of State for Provincial Affairs and Devolution, Advocate Mishek Mgadza, said the new airport will unlock the province's huge tourism potential, sentiments echoed by Chief Mutasa.
Nyaya ye-airport inoi, it's going to change Manicaland. Muno Manicaland chinu chikuru tourism kana ndichida kuzviona ini. It takes 30 minutes kuti munhu angobva kuHarare achiuya pana.
Tine maplums, tine maps, zvakawanda zviri maMutasa zvatinazvo zviri meant for export, asi zvaitadzikana, asi izvozvi zvichaitika. And I know inini from the development airport paino wako pachada warehouse, pachada packing bay, pachada taxi, pachada mabhazi, and ndabva ndatoona mfungwa mangu chihotera chihombe chawakwa paOsborn Dam.
The airport will be the latest among several developmental projects being spearheaded by the Second Republic in Manicaland province, including the Christmas Pass bypass road and upgrading of Forbes border post. Kenya's Chivuje, ZBC News, Mutasa.
High school students from Bango area of Matabeleland South Province who were walking more than 10 kilometers to the nearest secondary school have been given a lifeline after the construction of a new school in the area.
In an area called Bango, beyond the mighty Simugwe River, at the boundary of Matobo and Mango districts in Matabeleland South Province, 3 girls are walking to school. This is Lungi Lempof and her grade 7 classmates. The girls engage in a deep conversation of what the future holds after their grade 7 examinations. The nearest secondary schools are St. Joseph's and Kalanyoni, located 10 kilometers from their homesteads.
Sihlala sibona sisi wethu bevuka ekseni bese ehlanganani lathi singaqeda ugrade 7 siyafunda khona.
Koko kuti vanonda ma kilometers manjinji ko bathama kuti begcine bekhomba muzila papa benda bekhombiswa muzila bewana mitumbu begcina besingapedze kwele.
Abantu abaningi besimabo grade 7 nabanye befunde begcina bo form 2 begcina bengasafikanga ku form 4.
Bana bedu banomuka ndabo 4 beqalisa zwibakanya kuti bande lubaka kuchipo kudzebendo bata zvifundo.
Their prayers have, however, been answered after the Air Force of Zimbabwe joined the community to construct a classroom block for a new secondary school in the area.
Amalentunga miliwe hango yetu linoti hango inovakwa ndeveni vayo lo hadzisika nasi takabatana tihingidzana akuna chingatikona.
I would like to thank you bantu bako Bango elithela kubona ukuthi ukuthuthuka njalo lokuthi libe lesikole ebantwaneni benu kuqhakathekile.
The Air Force of Zimbabwe set aside proceeds from the Commander AFZ Charity Fund to assist communities.
It is profound to point out that the focus of ourselves, both sides, was for our children to acquire knowledge in a safe, comfortable and morale-enhancing environment. These 2 blocks here are testimony of our efforts to improve lives as outlined in the theme of the Commander Air Force of Zimbabwe Charity Fund.
The construction of the classroom block has been described as confirmation of the Second Republic's commitment to equitable infrastructure development to minimize distances traveled by learners. Providence Maranelli, ZBC News, Mangwe.
Parents and child rights activists are questioning the safety of school children after an incident in which 25 ECD learners from David Livingstone Primary School in Harare were allegedly kidnapped on Thursday.
The recent suspected kidnapping of 25 David Livingstone Primary School children by a 60-year-old commuter omnibus driver Samuel Honde has sparked a debate on the safety of children in schools. Child rights activists have questioned the rationale behind engaging private transporters for school runs amid concern that this case might be a tip of an iceberg.
We believe that it's high time that everyone takes due diligence when it comes to the protection of children. Why? Because anyone can be a suspect. So due diligence should be taken, especially by school authorities or school institutions when they are employing people that deal with children.
In cases like this, it's now difficult for us to put the blame on anyone because maybe the school authority is responsible for the child, but they did not do due diligence when it comes to making sure that every transporter at the school is cleared with the police and there is a background check of the transporter. And also the parent is to blame because the parent should make sure that their children are in safe hands.
Meanwhile, the accused has appeared at the Harare Magistrates Court where he was remanded in custody pending mental examination. This comes after the state raised concern over the accused's mental state, with the state arguing that he had shown signs of mental challenges. Wonde is being charged with kidnapping. He will be back in court on the 2nd of February. John Nandara, ZBC News, Harare.
The ruling ZANU-PF party is leaving nothing to chance in its quest to clinch the Mkoba North constituency seat in by-election set for the 3rd of next month. Tafara Chikumira has the details.
All hands are on deck as ZANU-PF angles to take over the Mkoba North constituency seat in a crucial by-election set for 3rd of February. The party's National Elections Directorate, led by the National Commissar, Comrade Mike Bima, was in Gweru this Friday on a fact-finding mission on progress made this far.
We believe that a lot of work has been done, and I would like to thank our provincial teams for the work that they have done so far, and the work that they are continue to go and perform from now until the election day.
Comrade Bima urged party supporters to take the by-election seriously if the party is to claim the urban seat.
We want to ensure that all our members, all the registered voters who are on our cell registers should, on the 3rd of February, come out in full force and go and vote.
6 constituencies head to the polls on the 3rd of February after CCC legislators were recalled from Parliament by the opposition party's Interim Secretary General Sengezo Chabangu. Tafara Chikumira, ZBC News, Gweru.
Mozambican President Filipe Nyusi has described the meeting of African First Ladies at the launch of We Are Equal campaign and Zero Waste movement in Maputo as essential towards promoting unity and economic development on the continent.
The President of Mozambique, His Excellency Filipe Nyusi, in his keynote address during the launch of the 2 campaigns, gave plaudits to the First Ladies for playing an increasingly active and visible role in promoting social causes, particularly for the most vulnerable groups, and in the promotion of women empowerment, gender equality, education, and environmental preservation. Present at the event were First Ladies from Zimbabwe, Malawi, Nigeria, Botswana, and Kenya, while Eswatini and Rwanda were represented.
Primeira Dama da República Federal.
The First Ladies, for their outstanding social role and position, play their part as important and frontline agents of behavioral transformation in building more just, inclusive, and harmonious societies of our continent.
President Nyusi also pledged the commitment of African leaders to promoting a healthy and more inclusive Africa that values and mainstreams gender equality and invests in the promotion of environmental preservation.
Waste impacts the life of people in both urban and rural environments, but it also contributes to ecosystem degradation, particularly in aquatic environments, both in marine and river. The zero waste approach goes beyond solid waste management. Zero waste implies a society adopting sustainable production and consumption practices to maintain a lifestyle that is in harmony with nature.
The second objective of the conference was the launch of the Zero Waste Initiative, a global movement intended to promote the responsible and sustainable management of waste. The First Lady, Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, was among the African First Ladies invited by Dr. Isaura Nyusi to grace the launch of the We Are Equal campaign and the signing of the Zero Waste movement. Dr. Auxilia Mnangagwa, who is already a signatory to both campaigns, outlined strides that she has made towards the sustainable management of Zimbabwe's environment. The Mother of the Nation, who is also the environment patron, highlighted some of the initiatives which she has championed, including cleanup campaigns, the Geopomona Waste to Waste-to-Energy initiative, the first of its kind, which is aimed at proffering solutions to waste management in the capital. The project is also part of the country's initiative to clearing dump sites in a sustainable way that also generates renewable energy. Not to be outdone is also a first of its kind color-coded underground waste disposal facility, which she launched. And it drew the interest of other first ladies who were keen to know more from Amai.
Zimbabwe has developed various plans and strategies as the government moves to ensure the country has sustainable environmental management and waste disposal systems. To inculcate a culture of cleanliness, His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, Dr. Edi Mnangagwa, declared the first Friday of each calendar month a National Cleanup Day. Through this important intervention, we have seen remarkable results as the program has become entrenched into our culture. In support of government's efforts on waste management, I launched through my office the First Lady's Recycling Program, which has the underprivileged and marginalized women and youth to receive training on recycling as a business, and this has encouraged people to benefit both project empowerment and cleaner environments. Waste management is an area that we have seen the private sector taking a key interest. A successful example is the recently commissioned Geopulmonar Waste-to-Energy project in Harare that is expected to enhance the cleanliness of the city while providing electricity to the national grid. I commissioned the first of its kind color-coded waste disposal facility, which categorizes and separates waste. The waste is then stored below the ground with lower and more stable temperature. I also signed in my capacity as the First Lady of the Republic of Zimbabwe the Global Waste Management Declaration Global Zero Waste, and at the sidelines of the 78th General UN Assembly meeting in New York. We are also here in Mozambique to witness the spread of this significant pledge. I therefore call upon all of us here to be part of a new and exciting future that is waste-free. The host First Lady of Mozambique, Dr. Isaura Nyusi, is the latest signatory to the Zero Waste movement, with spouses of leaders of provinces in Mozambique also committing themselves to promoting cleaner and environmentally friendly communities by signing the Zero Waste movement. Dr. Isaura Nyusi said that a country has registered notable successes in areas of gender parity, but more still needs to be done with regards to both gender equality and waste management.
Although the countries here represented, including Mozambique, have registered advancements in gender parity, we still have many challenges that needs collective attention for a prosperous Africa.
Other First Ladies also outlined some of the initiatives they are embarking on in their respective countries with regards to gender equality and environmental preservation.
As a tool to promote the Organization of African First Ladies for Development, or FLAD, We Are Equal campaign. This effectively aligns with the mission of the Renewed Hope Initiative, RHI, which is driven by my office to complement the efforts of the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR.
This campaign aims to convey to us issues of equality, hence the hashtag We Are Equal. My passion is education, but I need to expand because gender equity is also just as crucial. Understanding of gender equity is also a very powerful tool.
Dr. Valentine Uwamaria, Rwandan Minister of Gender and Family Promotion, who was representing the country's First Lady, Mrs. Jeanette Kagame, said both We Are Equal campaign and the Zero Waste Management initiatives are interconnected since they both require collective efforts and they mostly affect women. In a speech read on her behalf by the Minister of Internal Administration of the Kingdom of Eswatini, Princess Lindiwe, the First Lady outlined some of the initiatives the country has implemented in line with gender equality and good waste management. Mozambican cultural ensembles provided edutainment on the need to promote gender equality and the importance of good waste management. The Organization of African First Ladies for Development, or FLAD, has been an important cooperation platform among African countries. Through our FLAD, the African First Ladies have played an increasingly active and visible role in addressing challenges faced by the most vulnerable groups in areas of health, education, elderly protection, and economic empowerment. Gender equity mainstreaming and the elimination of gender disparities in all sectors constitute one of the commitments assumed by the African leaders within the scope of Agenda 2063 and the UN SDG Goal number 5. Dr. Esau Ranyusi also hosted a dinner gala for her guests to mark the end of the conference. Colette Msanyera, ZBC News, Maputo.
We now take a short break. We'll be back shortly.
I've always loved our traditions, our culture. So I want to tell African stories. I want to tell Zimbabwean stories for Zimbabweans and the rest of the world. Well, MultiChoice has provided us with the biggest opportunity in Zimbabwe, which is platform. And now we have these 3 different channels that are buying content. And so that has helped in creating opportunities for me to tell these stories that I dreamt of telling since I was a child. My journey with MultiChoice has been a beautiful one. MultiChoice was holding a workshop to teach Zimbabwean filmmakers different aspects of filmmaking, and those has been very helpful in improving the quality of our storytelling. I am also an ambassador for MultiChoice Talent Factory. MultiChoice has played a big role in my career development. So I want to create opportunities for other young people so that they see that it's possible. It is possible for someone from Rewa, for someone from Zimbabwe to actually become a successful filmmaker.
The meaning of life is not to simply exist, but to move ahead. To rise up and achieve. To conquer. Introducing Kung Fu Energy Drink, your push for the next conquests. Kung Fu Energy Drink, master the power.
Did you know that according to the World Economic Forum, because of artificial intelligence and green energy, 95% of formal employment opportunities are in the sciences domain, which makes STEM subjects the only viable alternative combinations at A-level. Gnostics Group of Schools is the only A-level STEM school with a team of experienced chemistry, mathematics, physics, and biology teachers, state-of-the-art science laboratories with university standard science equipment. We have an inclusive A-level enrollment policy where an all-level pass in the STEM subjects is not a prerequisite. Call us now for more information. Gnostics Group of Schools, Chirodzo, Simbi Inorodzo Zime Simbi.
Welcome back to Main News. Thank you for staying with us. As we mourn one of our own, the late Zimbabwe Broadcasting Corporation television producer, Julius Chirume, who died this Thursday, has been laid to rest at his rural home in Chiota.
Friends and relatives gathered in Chiota area of Mashonaland East Province this Saturday to bid farewell to the late Julius Chirume, who died on Thursday. Chirume's wife, Gamchirai Chikoto, said her husband has left a huge void which will be difficult to fill.
Chokwadi kubva pasi pemoyo wangu. Julius, he was a perfect husband. Andakana muswani kambotukwa kana kupushwa kana I think Mwari vaona kuti vakuda kuti vange vanaye. I'm almost certain kuti Julius aenda kudenga kunowana Mwari. He was a good husband.
Workmates also shared their experiences with Chirume.
Taimuti a humble giant. Munhu aitumika, munhu angasingatsamwi.
Ube ngumuntu obezehlisa kakhulu, ube ngumuntu obethanda ukusebenzela abanye abantu bonke. Silahlekelwe kakhulu ngokulahlekelwa nguJulius Chirume.
It's actually quite difficult to really understand or to accept that he's no more.
He used to respect everyone around him, and we're going to miss him very much.
It leaves us with a lot of questions than answers. You're not sure. 1 minute I was with him studio to get a board. Mangwana, I'm being called to get a donor.
As his friends, it's a difficult time for us.
The late Chirume will also be remembered as a humble and hard-working character.
Julius angachitibatira programs evana kunyanya. He was our producer for our kids programs. Aida futi sport, ainyanya ufarira sport. Patakawana AFCON akati mem ndibvumire kuti ndinge ndichishanda shift ya AFCON tikamubvumira kudaro. But zvatirwadza hachisi chinhu Julius andifunge handina kumbonzwa kuti Julius angachirwara. Time ndeyaMwari, but semhuri yeZBC tarasikirwa.
What is more painful is that it was so sudden. We never expected Julius to pass, but I guess God has his ways, and he did his ways. What I can say is we'll miss Julius because he was a key asset in the kids programming.
We have lost a lot in Julius Chirume because he would deal with us, would deal with him in a lot of issues relevant to education.
Chirume joined ZBC in 2009 as a sports intern before becoming a producer in the KidsNet section, a position he held until his death.
Zvirokwazo kunyangwe ndikafamba pampata pomvuri worufu handingatongotyi zvakaipa nokuti imi munemi nzvimbo yenyu nemudonzo wenyu zvinondinyaradza.
He was 36. Chirume is survived by his wife Kamchirai, Tarama Duyu. ZBC News, Harare.
May his soul rest in eternal peace. The late veteran filmmaker, actor, and scriptwriter Watson Chizomba, who died on Thursday, has been described as a rare gem in the arts industry whose contribution will remain firmly engraved in the sector.
A fountain of knowledge, a master at acting, and a loving father. These are some of the words used to describe the late Watson Chizomba.
Baba wangu munhu akatonditrainawo zvese zvandoziva in arts and in fact in life, and as of late he was my manager, anga achitomanajawo brand rangu remusic.
Yet it is not only Chizomba's family that has lost a good man. The loss is also widely felt by colleagues who worked with the late veteran actor over the years.
Watson was a fantastic actor. We were together when we made our first excursion to Reps Theatre.
He's one artist who was committed to his art. He was so passionate, and it was time when we started doing things together, when it wasn't about money, it was literally for the passion and for the love of the art.
Ngikhule ngimbona mina performer. Ngathi sikhule sonke nje actor ku television, particularly iZTV ama dramas. Ngazombona esesebenza lo ubaba uMthugutsi. He was an amazing guy.
He was the manager of what is called the Pakari Pai Arts Ensemble, which was a band put together by Oliver Mthugutsi for the youth, and he's going to be sorely missed because he was pushing the youth in the right direction musically and arts-wise.
The late Chizomba will be buried tomorrow at West Band Cemetery in Norton. He is survived by his wife, Christine Ferro, and 3 children. Farai Gwaze, ZBC News, Harare.
And finally, in sport, the Zimbabwe under-19 cricket team, the Young Chevrons, are ready for their opening match at the Under-19 Cricket World Cup, where they will face Sri Lanka in South Africa this Sunday.
It will be a stint test for the Young Chevrons, who will begin their World Cup campaign with a tricky assignment against Sri Lanka Under-19 at the Diamond Oval in South Africa this Sunday. The Young Chevrons here faced the young cricketers once in 2018, with the Asian side getting the bragging rights after a 5-wicket victory in New Zealand. The Matthew Shonkin captain side will be hoping to avenge that defeat as the two foes square off this time around in familiar Southern African conditions.
I believe we are ready. Our preparation was really thorough. The warm-up matches exposed us to many challenges we may face in the tournament, thereby giving us sufficient preparation.
The Young Chevrons are seated in Group C alongside Australia, Sri Lanka and regional rivals Namibia, with head coach Prosper Oteya wary of the looming battle.
We are taking every game seriously. I believe every team that's here is a challenge. For me, the target is to finish as high as possible.
Our 16 teams seated in 4 groups are competing for honours at the Junior World Cup, with 3 teams from each group progressing to the Super 6 stage. Our 2 groups of 6 teams will clash to determine the semi-finalists and the subsequent finalists, while the bottom-placed teams meet in placement games to determine positions 13 to 16. Elsewhere, the Zimbabwe women cricket team, the Lady Chevrons, head into their second one-day international ODI match against Ireland at Harare Sports Club this Sunday, hoping to recover from a 1-0 defeat in the first match. Ireland have a historical edge, having dominated in recent years with a year-to-year record of 3-1 against the Lady Chevrons. The 2 sides conclude the 50-over format on Tuesday next week before shifting focus to the 5-match T20 series. The Lady Chevrons and Ireland are part of 10 nations set to take part at the 2024 ICC Women's T20 World Cup Global Qualifier in Dubai. The qualifiers will determine the last 2 teams that will qualify for the T20 World Cup, which will be held in Bangladesh between September and October this year.
And that concludes the main news. After this bulletin, we bring you the match between Tunisia and Mali. Enjoy.
The Liquor Licensing Board under the Ministry of Local Government and Public Works is now accepting renewals